matchups I've seen so far in the LCK season. And a lot of letting specific power picks open and trying to have a strategy to counteract it. We do see immediately Elise is banned and Lehens yawns. He's like, how boring that you would ban away my Elise. Cowards. Sejuani denied from Gideon. Really, I think this is just cementing some pocket picks that this team has. I mean, Elise and Sejuani are both in the meta, but these, just for those two players, these picks have been really performing well. Less so pocket picks and more power picks for them. On the other side, it is Nongshim banning some of the stronger meta picks. We've seen Calista, seen Gwen. Varus, I think, could be a good ban here. If they take Neferi, you take Vi. I guess the risk is they take Vi, and then Neferi may not be what you want to play, but we'll see. I think if Varus is left open, I could see a Varus first pick coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Berserker's playing the way he is, you got to prioritize good picks for the players that are on point. So, do they target him? Yes, they do.
Interestingly, Yone also left open and available, which is actually our third most banned after Calista Varus. So, something Fisher's had some good performances on. We'll see if it's something they want to prioritize this early. Vi's open, Neferi's open. You know, we've seen people picking Vi and leaving Neferi open. Obviously, even though Neferi's lost a lot, still a strong champ, still a lot of prio on it. They will go to Vi, so pressure on Nongshim. Do they accept the matchup trade, or do they bow out of it? And do they just pick up the Yone, which I think could make a lot of sense? They could even go something crazy like Yone Rumble, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of strong picks here. Notably, the Sejuani is banned, so that's one of the big jungles you see alongside of the Yone. But Yone's still strong, still flexible. Obviously, with the Rumble picked here, that's a good shout from you. I think
Kingan's Rumble has been monstrous.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's actually had the best in the LCK Cup. I think he had some of the best Rumble performances of anyone. He was so good on that pick. Had some games where he was literally just 1v9ing completely. So immediately this puts a lot of pressure onto Dudu on the other side, but also frees you up if you do want to go for that AD mid laner. And we'll see what they opt to go for. Instead, they opt for the Azir, so not wanting the Yone in this situation. Not wanting to pair it up without the Sejuani, maybe, is the thought process.
Yeah. It's also good into dive.
Yeah.
You know, and with the Vi first pick, you sometimes see teams that are like, all right, we picked Vi, we're going all in. That's not necessarily what you have to do. And with the Jace pick, they absolutely don't have to, as Talia also comes through.
Yep, so the Rumble Jace pick in our previous series, and then Vi Talia. There's a lot of good options right now for Vi. You know, Vi Aurora, Vi Talia, Vi Ahri, all good combos. Opting for the Talia, which is definitely a comfort pick for Bulldog, has that map pressure now. Nongshim have a choice. They could just take Ezreal here. I think Ezreal's really good, considering there's a Vi Talia on the other side. Instead, they do opt for the Neferi. So, opting into this despite being up against the Vi Talia, Vi being the pick we've seen taken most into Neferi, and Talia, I mean, she has the Unraveled Earth. Speaks for itself.
Yeah.
If I was DN Freaks, I would definitely be banning Ezreal. And then maybe on the other side for Nongshim, could look at some of the problematic supports, potentially. You know, Rakan could be pretty good for DN Freaks, and you don't really want to pick it as Nongshim because you're playing into Talia. So maybe a Rakan ban goes hard, but they actually denied the Renata first off in this situation.
Yeah, the Renata taken away. I mean, Calista and Varus are both banned already. There's the Ezreal first ban, not a big surprise. There's still a lot of AD carries left, even with the 3 bans already, like MF, Kai'Sa considerations. Yeah, one of the nice things about Kai'Sa is, you know, obviously the point and clicks you see from Vi is frustrating, but you can build the Zhonyas if you go like the old build. We've even seen more the Crypt build at the moment, but you can go that. They banned the Xayah. Interestingly enough, it's like Nongshim are saying we're going full dive with those 2 bans, right?
Yeah.
Into Talia, which we have seen today. It did not work.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Nautilus going to come out as a ban, so maybe concerned about Kai'Sa Nautilus, although I guess you'd probably just ban the Kai'Sa there. I feel like Nautilus kind of gets mangled by the Talia. Yeah, you definitely need engage on the side of Nongshim. They are going to go the Kai'Sa, so no real massive surprise there. They're kind of telegraphing that. Now on the side of the DM Freaks, I feel like you can just pick something that can play at distance. You could honestly pick, like we've been talking about these AD carries like Kalista, like Varus to have that lane pressure. They opt for the Corki, has that safety in the Valkyrie, has that lane pressure. They also go the Rakan. I think this was a really heads-up draft, bot lane draft. You know, the Corki's going to have lane pressure and a bit of safety. Rakan, really strong with Vi. And there's not really much that Nongshim can pick, because like normally Braum, sorry, no, you wouldn't want Braum into Rakan. Normally you'd want to go just like a range support into Rakan, could be problematic, but you have a Kai'Sa, so you can't pair Kai'Sa with the range support really. We'll see what they opt to go for here for Lehends.
What's it gonna be?
Just a Leona. Okay, nothing too crazy. Yeah, so I think DM Freak's really comfortable with how this draft has panned out. I do think the one saving grace really for Nongshim is this King and Rumble, but everything else I think DM Freaks has really gotten what they wanted. The Vitalia combo into the Neferi, I think Gideon's gonna have a really rough time this game. Bot lane matchup's good with the Corki pressure into the Kai'Sa. And when it comes to team fights, just pick a target and kill them as they dive into you. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Neferi as well, not even to mention the matchup, which you were talking about a lot. It is currently 1-5 in the LCK. Was enjoying a very nice win rate over in the LPL, but for some reason in our region, can't quite figure it out. Or the teams are just better at dealing with it.
I think a big factor is we look at a draft like this, where the Fairy was set up on a platter, but there was a trap, right? It was like the cheese on the mouse trap, right?
Yeah.
It looks tasty, looks like a good option, but the Vi was first picked, and then the Talia was like to solidify that. Like the budget for the Neferi, because it's high priority, is there, but it just means that they're setting a trap for it. It's kind of like what we saw at first down with Kalista, where they'd leave Kalista open and then have everything ready to make Kalista's life hell.
Yeah.
It honestly harkens back to the MSI game when Faker's LeBlanc was left open years ago against EDG, and they just had everything to counteract it, and it did end up losing its win streak.
That it did. Well, we'll see what happens with Neferi's streak of 1-5 in this game number 1, as DM Freaks will go head-to-head with Nongshim Red Force right now.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Here we go, game number 1 on this rainy Saturday here in Seoul. Nice to be indoors. I did go outside without an umbrella and walk in the rain for 9 minutes to the train station. That was a bit of a choice I could have made today.
I have my penguin umbrella, so I was fine. Any opportunity to bring it out, I'm glad for.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Yeah, I wish I had a penguin umbrella. I think the only umbrellas I have are like the bland, just dark blue ones, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like having a bit of personality umbrella, because actually, the reason I love my penguin umbrella is it's kind of like see-through, right?
Yeah.
And then the penguins on it, so when the rain trickles down, it looks like the penguins are swimming. It's great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see if Pioshik will sink or swim in this one as he's on the run. It's just two guys, just Lehends and Jiwoo, but they push him off the red buff. And Gideon is stealing his Raptors. So kind of a two-pronged insult to the DNF jungle.
Yep. Good moves coming out.
They're just going to walk at them because they have a level 2 Neferi. I almost said Nidalee. Similar vein, I guess, but here they go. And now they're just gonna run around the back, and Gideon shows up here with just level 2 from the Raptors.
This kind of ends up not working out too fantastically, because I think Jiwoo and Lehends missed some XP on the first wave. And Gideon spent a lot of time coming down there to try and help out and really didn't achieve anything. So I don't think he can contest this red buff, as the DN Freaks bot lane would hit level 2, and actually they're going to hit a second. So Jiwoo got the XP, Lehends didn't, but even so, Life was ready to move. And I think Gideon moving down towards bot means he's not able to contest the red. And yes, he did steal that camp, and will have that camp advantage, but he lost a lot of time in doing so.
Yeah.
Only just now doing his second camp. So, and a good idea for the start, but kind of not working out maybe as he'd hoped.
Yeah, a bit forced. Not the end of the world, but certainly you'd like to delay Vi, but also be ahead. He delayed Vi a little bit, but then he got behind himself, so now he's actually behind the Vi. Went straight from blue up to the top side of his jungle, so just wants to protect this. As in we go, Berserker in a little bit of trouble. Just going to go for the cleanse as, ooh, going to get hit by that W as well.
Yeah.
Nice little combo here, Fisher.
Also doing well mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, so Berserker didn't go for the Valkyrie level 2, so didn't have that safety net against the Leona. The cleanse felt kind of late though, to be honest. Not sure if he needed to use that necessarily. And now going for a recall. We'll cancel it. I think it's the right call. Wave's not a great spot to do so. Bit of a heal from Life. They should be able to pick this up, but some good pressure from the Hens on this Leona. I think they're a bit scared of a dive, but Gideon nowhere near right now.
Yeah. Dudu's been another interesting player to look at because he had a bunch of shining moments on the back in the day, you know, the Kwangdong roster. When they were Kwangdong, now DN Freaks.
Oh,
and
they take the back.
Take the back. We'll see. I mean, no cleanse here on Berserker.
It's so hard with them both being mobile. You know, Berserker, Valkyries, and Light dashes to him.
Yeah.
They'll try. Sorry, please continue your point.
It was just really nice to see Dudu. It felt like he was doing really well on a team that was struggling a lot, and he was having a lot of moments where he was the carry from the top lane when it wasn't even necessarily that meta, but since then, hasn't really been able to find as much luck here on the DN Freaks. So we're all still waiting for it. We know he's capable of it. Form is temporary. So we'll see when that does happen for him.
You see Gideon sweeping out that ward. Will be spotted, so won't be able to go for a gank off the back of that, but kind of keep the pressure on. And Dudu doing pretty well in this top lane matchup on the Jace in terms of farm, but does end up running out of mana and being forced away there. Likely will have to TP back in. We see resets coming out from Nongshim. Looks like they could end up going for a swap up towards those globes on the top side. The Hens is moving now. Jiwoo's going to catch the wave. And they've hit level 6 on Kingen as well. Yeah, this is really where I think Nongshim excel with their composition, because on the side of the DN Freaks, Jace and Talia's level 6 spike not nearly as impactful around a grub fight as Azir Rumble. I think that is a very safe statement to make.
Yeah.
So I think maybe DN Freaks can just kind of avoid it, and it's very telling that Kingen runs bot and Dudu TP's bot. This is such a signal to me that DN Freaks don't care about grubs and aren't planning to contest them, because Kingen now has his TP available, and it would be a 5v4 in that case. So I think Gideon can move in and should be looking to collect all 3 grubs. They are looking to pressure Berserker right now, but I think he's a bit too safe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even without his cleanse, he just sits their Valkyries away. Unless he's flashing on top of Berserker, really nothing is going to happen there.
This is a good decision, though, making the trade for the Dragon. I think opting into this would be very bad for the DN Freaks.
Yeah, and they don't waste any time. You know, you see a lot of junglers that are like, "Oh, we gotta fight for it. It's the grubs. It's a big thing. I'm gonna go in and at least get one, and I'm gonna call my whole team up, and we're gonna fight over this." But instead, they're like, "Nah, we can't. Just take the Drake. It's free. It's sitting there." And in this case, it's an Infernal Drake. Not a bad pickup, especially as the game comes along. And finally, we do have a Chemtech Drake, so no Chemtech Soul this game.
Yeah, I'm doing my job occasionally, Brendan.
Well, it's been a little while, so. I mean, we had a Chemtech Soul today, so that counts as failing.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. We forgive you. We know you have a job to do, another job. Which is, of course, talk about your penguin umbrella.
Yes, yes. I'm glad we're getting back to that.
Yeah.
I got it in an aquarium in Tokyo when I went on holiday there.
Yeah.
And one time I lost it.
Yeah, I remember that. That was so sad.
It was so stressful. And then I had to go and backtrack because it'd been a night out with Hysterics. Me and my partner and him and his partner went to a few bars, and then I didn't know which bar I left it in. So I had to go track it down. And then when I went and found the bar that it was in, it was closed on that day. Devastating. So then I had to go back again.
Yeah.
And then they had my umbrella. It was the greatest day.
At least they had it.
Yeah. And it didn't rain between that period, so I was fine.
Yeah.
That would have been stressful.
People sometimes take umbrellas.
They do, and it's a nice umbrella.
Around. Yeah.
Take my umbrella, Brendan. Our friendship is over.
Well, I might just have to take it then. Noshim going to take the red buff. It's Fisher going to have to flash away. Bulldog's been right on the money with that.
Losing a red buff isn't great, but it's not as bad as losing a penguin umbrella.
That's true.
If we're being real here.
That's definitely true.
Did you, like, when you were a kid, did you have an umbrella? Did you have, like, a favorite umbrella? Did it have anything on it?
I don't think so. I think I, like...
Just a raincoater?
Yeah, I think I was a raincoater.
I feel like in Korea, people really lean towards umbrellas, but in the UK, a lot of raincoaters.
I mean, you guys get so much rain, it's just like...
It's just very...
You just have to be prepared all days. You just go outside in a raincoat even if it's not raining, because you know it's going to rain at some point.
Yes.
So you might as well.
What about it?
It's just the fashion is just raincoats.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We don't really have anything going on in this game. It's been 10 minutes. We traded objectives. Both teams, 0 kills, 1 objective apiece. No turrets. The lanes are very even.
Yep.
The biggest lead is the 80 carry. G is ahead by, wait for it, 6 CS.
Wow. It's pretty good.
Yep.
And it looks like we are seeing Kaisa again. It has been, people have been defaulting to this build, you know. We critiqued aiming for going the crit build, which I think was justified given the damage profile of his composition.
Yeah.
But it seems like this is the go-to. And I think here makes a lot of sense when you have double AP solo laners. But you know how it is in the LCK. It's not about the damage profile. It's this is the popular build now, and I will go with it.
This is what I was told is the way, and so I'm going to do it. Sorry, Ways and Challengers now.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Peter looked good, though. It was nice to see.
Oh.
In goes Kingin. He says, okay, enough with the penguin umbrella. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do something. He did, but he's just he's just leaving.
He lost more HP in the trade.
He still did it.
Gideon shows up. Bit of the farming Neferi. We'll take a ward, and that's it. I think that's the thing. And I brought this up before, but Shadow for FPX played a Neferi game and got 17 kills, right?
Yeah.
That's the LPL. Okay, 80% win rate Neferi.
Yeah.
He has 17 kill games. This is the LCK. It's 10 minutes in. Have we seen the Neferi do anything? Well, there was that brief period where he looked like he was going to take a red buff and then didn't, and then came back for it later. So now he's 2 camps up.
He is. He's ahead. He finished his first item ahead of time. He got that back in, you know, and he's going to be here.
Let's see what he can do with it.
He's going to be here for the grubs. Koshik already got 1, but there's a ward in the pit. And now Gideon says, I don't think you should fight me. Still a lot of CC and lockdown here for the side of DNF. So Gideon has to play it a bit carefully, but he's got his team with him. As the smite is going to go the way of Pyoshi. Pyoshi taking a bunch of damage, but he's just being follow flashed here. As the rest of the team is going on in as the shuffle from Fisher, not the greatest, but the follow-up here from the Kaisa Ju finally takes out the DNF jungler, as now the front line here, Lahen's going a bit too far, trying to bait this fight even further. But it doesn't look like it's going to go much further at all, as the equalizer already down didn't do much. And Nongshin will just back away.
Yeah, and DNF will be able to pick up a grub here and equalize 2-3. Bit of a weird play there from Pyoshik. We've seen typically the Vi do very well into Neferi because you CC chain here and then you get follow-up from your team. So I want to point out what was missing from this play. And I think it's pretty clear. It was the follow-up from the team. No one is near Pyoshik going for this. He just kind of dives on the Neferi and everyone's miles away. And then he ults to his ear to get out, but still ends up going down. Just a weird way to approach the fight. It felt like DNF were very split on that one. They do get Lahen's on the exit, and in the end, they're favored with them picking up the grubs, but I still think their approach to that fight was pretty off.
It was definitely a bit odd, felt very forced. You know, overextending can happen at any end, and you see that Lahen's was able to do the same. Flashed in, tried to set up the equalizer, just died instead. And you got to be careful, especially at this point in the game, even if you are Leona. Does look like Nongshin should be able to take the second Drake here.
Yep. Hoping for a... I mean, it's a Dragon Apiece. It doesn't really matter to them, it's good soloing up. We'll see what it is. Compy Chemtech.
I want to say Mountain again. Oh.
It's a Cloud.
Yeah, Atlas is watching, so for some reason, you know, when he's watching and I'm casting, we get a lot of Cloud Drakes, a lot of Cloud Souls. He's watching over us. Thanks, Alice.
I mean, it was raining today. I guess Ocean would have made more sense then.
Yeah, it's not that windy today. It's been very windy in recent times, but not today.
Yeah.
Bulldog smartly avoids any further action.
It'd be pretty cool if the Soul just matched the weather in like the location of the server.
Yeah.
But again, if you had a UK server, it would just be Ocean every day. Oh, Ocean Cloud, Ocean Cloud, Ocean Cloud.
Yeah. And then like that one heat
one
wave.
day a year, you get Infernal.
Yeah. Well.
And then when the aliens invade, that's when you get Hextech.
Okay. What about Chemtech?
When the pollution's pretty bad.
Yeah.
When the air quality's low, that's when you get Chemtech.
You know, there were a lot of suggestions to make the Soul public during the draft.
Yeah, yeah.
And just be like, hey, this time it's Chemtech. Draft around it, you know? And I always thought that was a pretty cool idea. But I would assume in the LCK they'd just be like, I don't care, I'm just drafting. I'm drafting whatever is strong and what makes sense for our comp. I'm not just going to pick just because it's an Infernal Soul this time.
Yeah.
So, you know, when the Souls were a bit stronger, maybe.
I feel like it's such a late planning, like to lean into those, you know?
There's no guarantee you're going to get ahead, that you're going to get the Soul at all.
Yeah. I do think, like, if you have a scaling comp, a weaker Soul makes you feel like you can scale easier, but that's only the real difference at the moment. Gideon doing some good damage.
We had an action alert there. That was very close to having some action.
Oh, guys, don't panic, don't panic. I know it's like loud and noisy when Rumble overheats, but the action stopped, don't worry.
Yeah. He's Super Galaxy, isn't he?
Why do you even have to ask?
Doesn't every player play this one?
Yeah.
There are other Rumble skins.
Honestly,
like
this is possibly Riot's biggest mistake, is making a skin so good that it's just used forever.
Nobody buys the other ones?
Yeah.
As in they go. That's the equalizer right on top. Gideon goes untargetable, but the dive is going on elsewhere in the bottom lane, and this dive is very messy. Lehens barely gets out of range, and Gideon has to flash here. It's dives on both sides of the map. First, Turret Blood is going to go the way of DNF, though.
Yeah, DNF, I think, happy with how that one panned out. Yes, and Neferi gets pretty fed, but you managed to get a kill back. You managed to get this dive in the bot side onto Fisher and get the tower. Limited outplay potential is how I would describe this. Not much you can do.
Should have flashed that.
Yes. Just dodge the Vials.
Yeah.
A little bit more outplay potential here, thanks to Life's assistance. And Kingen, not the best flash. Tower's doing a lot of damage at this point. Lehen's like, I ain't taking another hit. Gideon's like, me neither. And they do manage to survive, but still, they don't get the tower. And DN Freaks pretty happy with that outcome. Do get the feats of strength as well.
Yeah, definitely feels pretty good for them to get that going. Life just playing with fire. Didn't know they were in that brush. And he's going to get away with it because he is Rakan. Also had his flash, just in case.
Celestial opposition, Rakan just feels so good just because that. You know, Celestial opposition on like Leona, you're already tanky, right? But like on Rakan, his biggest weakness was just getting exploded from the Fog of War, and it really helps to mitigate that.
Yeah. So they're just going to take the Rift Heralds. Nongshim avoiding any further action. Probably a good idea. Wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
The Rift Heralds taken here by Pyosik.
Guys, we're going to see Neferi do stuff. Don't worry. It's going to happen. Any moment now.
It will eventually happen. I think you are right.
Well, Dragon up in 35 seconds, probably going to be the play. I think what makes sense to me is DM Freaks, you could set the Herald down mid, look for mid tier 1, rotate that pressure into Dragon. And it looks like Nongshim aren't contesting that. They are playing around the top side of the map. There's vision as well, so they've seen Lehens here. I think just the Herald mid into Dragon is the easy play, easy dub for DM Freaks. The tower is gone, just let it go.
Yeah, as we say that, I mean, they're not going for it right off the bat. You can see that the Raptors are being taken by Pyosik, that Dudu's up here in the top side, and in they go. On to Dudu, but Fisher just gets booped back. So pretty easy for him to handle. There's the Rift Heralds.
They're doing the play that I said they should do. Good job.
But they're not going for the Drake yet. He's like, no, I don't have to.
This bot tier 2. They got time.
It was such an overcommittal to the top side of the map from Noshim that DNF are like, you know what? Let's take even more than we thought we were going to get, because they're going to get the charge into the mid-inner. They're going to get the Gromp as well.
It
These are
feels
little things, but they're wins.
both teams, it felt a little bit sluggish. Like, it felt like Nongshim overcommitted top. Like, you got the tower. Why are you still there? And then the opposite side, DN Freaks, like, I don't mind them getting the vision, but they spent a lot of time taking this dragon, and I feel like they were just kind of sacrificing tempo.
They got the Gromp. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's very important.
Well, regardless, they pick up the dragon. 2-1 in favor of that, and feeling pretty comfortable in this game so far.
Yeah, DNF certainly in the lead at this point in time.
I also just think, like, it's going to still be awkward in the later stage of the game, playing into this composition.
All right, Pioche in a bit of trouble, but he does flash to survive. And the red buff is taken again.
Yeah, maybe if you hadn't spent so much time in the enemy jungle, you could have had your red and been out.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have gotten the Gromp.
Yes. Precisely.
Or
now,
gotten the control ward in their jungle.
they're moving so many members down to try and defend this bot tower, but should be back in time to stop Fisher from putting pressure on this mid lane. Tier 1, see some pings coming out, looking to lean towards the top side. That is where Arakan will be spawning. Would you believe it's Voracious?
It's Ruinous. Oh.
It is Ruinous. No, it's not. It's Voracious. Unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
So maybe put some pressure there, look towards the top tier 1. That could be an angle for the Freaks. We haven't really seen any Weaver's wall value. We had the Talia earlier today from Closer, and it was kind of Weaversing his wall everywhere.
Yeah.
But this game, it's kind of been not that.
Yeah. You know, weaving is a word, by the way.
Yeah, but I didn't use that word.
You don't have to say weavers.
But I wanted to say Weaversing. Someone hit the plant. They all just walk past that plant.
That's a very angry Rumble. Dude, just kind of on the run. There's the equalizer. He has to flash it. He's still burning down. And yeah, I mean, he's going to get away, but that is not a feel-good moment. Dudu up 500 gold. Doesn't matter with the items that were completed. Especially before that Muramasa. In they go. That's extremely deep. And Pioche is going to just die. I'm not sure how else to call that one, guys. He went in. He flashed. No, he didn't flash even. He just shuffled away. And that might just be an Otacon free for Noshim. Down on gold.
I think that might be it. I think that might be the worst play I've seen in this season so far. That was really something from Pioche.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
Can we give a top 3 at least?
Yeah, we might have to have the Mad movie. Okay, looking for a little
nice
planting
dodge.
and very nice dodge. Didn't even have the scrap shield at that time. He used it afterwards, so lacking the movement speed didn't matter. So he gets away.
Okay, so clearly the logic is, let's hope Azir forgets to press his buttons. Unfortunately, Azir pressed his buttons.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. Do you have any notes, thoughts, feelings?
I just, you know, Pioche's better than this. He's a great player. He's just not showing it here at the beginning of the LCK.
That is right there, a world champion.
He is.
You know what? I feel it's just... It would be funny if Beryl had done a play like that. This isn't as funny. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something about Beryl just makes it charming when he does stuff like that.
He's the master of LOL, so I think he just has a way of charming us all. Pioche, on the other hand, I don't know, I just kind of feel bad.
Ugh. When it's Beryl, we're like, you're so sweet.
Maybe it was a miscommunication. Maybe Bulldog was like, yeah, he did use his abilities.
Yeah, he hasn't skilled his E. This game.
I mean, it has a cooldown.
This game's been so passive.
He might have just used it, and Pioche's like, okay, he used it, and the guy.
I mean, okay.
Like, okay, yeah.
I think he was trying to. He thought the ult could connect before he could get like his E off to that distance, and Bulldog would still be in range. He was ambitious.
Or like Bulldog would Weaver's wall in.
No.
Weaversing
the wall.
his wall in.
Weaversing his wall in. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. Yoshik said, for some reason in English,
can you Weavers-ing your wall? And Bulldog was like, what the hell are you talking about? And why are you speaking in English? We're Korean players.
That's where the drop in communication happened. It all makes sense now.
And Pyosik has spent time in North America, so
Yeah.
he does have a good grasp on English.
That's why. That must have been it. Well, he's going to Weaver-Zing up into the mid lane. Oh, there you go. There's the flick back on a Fisher. And he's just going to withdraw.
And Fish...
And in they go. They want more. They want to get something for this. The equalizer's pretty huge as in comes King in, looking for some value. Not the highest value Otacon I've ever seen, but at least he got the 1 kill.
I understand now. Pyosik dies, they take Otacon. Otacon builds a false sense of security, and they just die there. Well, they don't die, but you know, they get 400 gold from those recalls. Maybe that was the long con.
But King got 300 gold.
Yeah. It's not a good plan. Fisher getting caught out there. A little bit of a turnaround, a bit of burst onto the Rakan, but kind of just tanking with faces there on the side of Nongshim.
Yeah.
Doesn't pan out too well. And Dragon is now up, and Gideon is just soloing it. Such a weird game. Such a strange
It is.
game.
It really is. It kind of feels like both teams are playing very passively and kind of letting each other get big wins for free.
It just feels
Both
like
sides.
Like there's moments, but it doesn't always feel like they're playing against each other.
Yeah.
You know?
They're kind of like playing on the same... yeah. They're on the same map. They're on the same place, but they're just...
A bit preoccupied with other things. Little spats. Occasional spats, you know?
I mean, Bulldog's been good with the seismic shoves.
Yeah. Kingen is fed-ish.
He's behind on gold.
I mean...
But yeah, he is.
He's got 2 items. Okay, as I say that, he's not really that fed.
Jace
He's
is
got
3.
2 items. I don't trust the Jace.
Oh, Lahens! What is happening? Just flashing on in. Might get punished for it too. As in they go to that back line. The follow-up is there. Gideon in a bit of trouble, but the damage is not quite there. They go way too deep. And Bulldog just cannot extend as far as they did. And call that an overextension where I'm from.
I think they call that an overextension in everywhere. I think there's nothing specific to it.
Yeah, well, Bulldog, he's gonna try.
Oh, the Baron damage came in.
Yeah, this is a scary Baron.
The Hen's going on a long flank, but they are just going to die. What?
That was an insane amount, and Gideon just dashes over the rocks and dies. Kingen as well, he's got a little bit of peel, but oh man, the Baron throw of all Baron throws. Kingen now on the run. I mean, they've got to be able to just go, okay, well, he's going to get 1 kill, but still, they stop the Baron, they win the fight. And then it was DN Freak's turn to win the fight.
He's a mastermind. He's a genius. This is why he's a world champion. So Pyosik massively overextends here with Light. And on the surface, we might be looking at this as a bad play, right? Because
we just don't get it.
Are by yourselves, miles away from your team when you die. But Pyosik knows this is the only way to force Nongshim onto the Baron at low HP for some reason.
Yes.
The game was too slow. He needed to spice it up. And then they take a ton of damage from the Baron. And Chiwoo dies.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them die. And Pyosik saw this one coming.
They're doing Baron. And the recalls did not come in fast enough. I say that though, Fisher in position. Gideon here as well.
He can steal.
He can easily get over that wall. It's just going to come down to a straight up flip, and it goes to Gideon. After all of that, they also killed the Rakan, but Gideon is down as well. And now it's all up to Jiwoo, who doesn't really have a front line anymore. Flashing on in his Bulldog, nearly gets his head taken off. But at the end of the day,
Just keep running Jiwoo.
even if Jiwoo does go down, oh,
The recall. No, you can't get it. You can't get it.
he's gonna try. He's gonna try. Does he miss? No, he doesn't. And even as Vision in the brush
As
afterwards.
I said, Pyosik saw it all. No, he didn't.
King
well,
got Baron.
The Baron got secured for Nongshim, so good steal from Gideon. But unfortunately, they don't have their Rumble here. They're fed Rumble with 2 items, which is less than everyone else, but somehow fed for some reason, because I said it wrong. They don't have King in here. 4v5, yes, they get the Baron, but they kind of commit into looking for the steal and aren't ready for the fight afterwards. Jiwoo is trying, but just can't do enough. And then here, I guess, it wasn't too hard to figure out where Jiwoo was in that brush.
He could have like gone to the top side of the brush and recalled,
Ah, yes.
and then the Vault Breaker would have missed.
I don't think he would have got in time.
There you go. You get away.
All right, nice backseating, Brendan. You do it better. Oh,
That's what I would have done.
never any appreciation.
Yeah, he tried his best. It just wasn't good enough. The Cloud Drake's on the way. Let's see how Nongshim can use their Baron.
I'm interested to see if they fight it, or maybe they just don't fight it for some reason. I have no idea why. Oh, there we go.
Well, this time there's no turret. Your team is there, kind of. A little bit. You got a splash?
I think
That's good.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Nongshim wanted him to ult Pyoshik in at the end instead of away.
Yeah.
I think if he'd ulted him in, Pyoshik was just dead.
He didn't have flash. Bioshik himself.
He would have won out. Like everyone was coming in. You have a Kai'Sa. I think he was 100% just dead. But it's Pyoshik, so maybe he's just mind gamed.
He's mind gaming. He's gonna go in and die, and then all of a sudden Nongshim will throw
It'll
on
backfire.
some objective.
Don't kill Pyoshik. It's a bait, right?
Pyoshik knew all along
He
what would happen.
He wants you to kill him. It's a strategy.
All right, Lahan's doing a good job frontlining here. A big threat
Yeah.
and providing that tankiness.
You do try to look for some poke angles. A big shock blast could go a long way here. That was not a big shock blast.
Yeah.
That was a regular shock blast.
And the big one also gonna miss. That's just a Cloud Drake to them. The Solar Flare goes wide. The Equalizer does a bit of damage, but no overcommittal here. As the Seismic Shock comes in goes Jiwoo already with a killer instinct, and both teams are like, please God, don't fight me.
Yep. Nongshim looking for that one. Difficult, still finding some struggles of engaging against his team that's Talia. And, you know, I was talking about fed top laners. Dudu's really fed right now. Even more
I mean,
fed.
he
than fed
actually
Rumble.
is,
He
yeah.
actually is fed, you know? He actually is fed. Genuinely,
Yeah.
really fed.
You could say he's the most fed member on the Rift.
You could say that,
Maybe.
and yet I won't. Because
Depends
perhaps,
on the total
perhaps the
gold.
Rumble's more fed. Being fed is a vibe.
I don't think so.
Okay? Being fed is a vibe. It's not about gold. It's not about items. It's about how do you feel.
It's about aura.
It's aura. It's so much about aura. Okay? Which is why Pyoshik's the most fed member on the Rift.
Just letting it be known that he is the one who pulls the strings.
Yes, he is the mastermind.
Yeah.
He learned this from Beryl, of course.
Of
The
course.
time on DRX.
Yeah,
Fisher now has his Zhonya's, so I was gonna say this might make Pyoshik think twice about ulting it. I don't think it will. Maybe it'll make him think once about ulting it.
Does you ever build Zhonya's? I don't and so with this build.
Not with this build.
You just need too many items.
Yeah.
Maybe like the last item Zhonya's.
I think he's going shield bow now. And then he probably won LDR. So I just don't think it really fits in.
Yeah.
Which kind of means you're in a position where, like, okay, there's a Leona, 2 champions with Zhonya's, and a champion who can go untargetable. And then Kai'Sa. Who are you ulting?
I wonder.
Yeah, difficult decision.
Yeah. And it's uncleansable too. So G with the barrier, just gonna rely on good positioning.
Yes. Just stand under your fountain, and when Pyoshik inevitably ults you, he dies.
Stand underneath the Leona so that accidentally Pyoshik clicks on the Leona instead of you.
Could happen.
Good strategy.
Could happen. Okay. Things are heating up.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've gone from tepid to lukewarm. Baron is up in a minute. Prime time for one of these teams to start it up.
And inevitably for it to end in a flip.
Yeah. This has been fun. Slow but fun.
It just feels like both teams do not have control over the way this game is going.
It feels like both teams like, okay, we got to respect them. They're in control.
All right, well, they're trying to get on top of Fisher here. That's the value of the Zhonya's. There's the knock, a perfectly timed from Bulldog. And just like that, one step out of position. And Fisher is dead. Lahens has to flash.
Yep. Baron at 20. Fisher's TP, but he's going to be up long after it spawns. DNF still looking. A little bit of a whiff from the ult from Pyoshik used onto the not Kai'Sa.
Trying to get some poke down. King gonna run forward into them to dodge the seismic shove, but might bait his team into a fight here. It looks like they want to have a fight the turn here onto Dudu, but he lives with the flash, and now everybody's just running away. I say that it's you! Presses his R, goes in, takes out 2, but he's dead. And now with Berserker alive, they might consider going for this Baron, but this Baron does a lot of damage.
Oh, Lehens, don't die!
Let's
Run!
Well, he's dead. Okay.
Definitely dead.
He's super dead.
Okay, well that's Baron.
And Freaks have figured. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Let's kill the Baron.
They were thinking about it.
Okay, now King and TP's in. This was the mastermind play.
Okay, here comes King and Fisher.
I actually think they just died.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. I don't think you have enough tankiness with these two. They're being burnt to a crisp. Bulldog is just dead. The ult drives Pioshik into him somehow. Fisher gonna die, but somehow Kingin not able to do enough damage, but the Baron is stopped.
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. For sure, definitely. Exactly. Yes, well, this is a good play on a Fisher. The wall's cut off, and then Life preps the charm, so he can't do anything. He can't shuffle, he can't dash. Here, Pioshik ults the Neferi. He could have just ulted Lehens. I know ulting Leona generally isn't a good idea. It definitely was the play there. He would have just died. But they kill him anyway. Later, but for now, we see Kingin playing very aggressively here, getting some damage down, baiting in. They turn on a Dudu. He tanks for a good amount of time considering, and then Jiwoo tries to make the hero play here to back up his jungler, and gets 2, which is kind of impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he gets 2 and makes it so that there's only 3 squishy members here, right?
Fisher just completely, well,
ult.
dashes over the ult. We got 2 of them with.
Yeah.
Stop the Baron.
They figured it out one way or another. By the way, Cloud Soul was picked up in live. Nomshim down on gold, does not care. They get the objective.
Ah, yes. Just kill the objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most damage dealt by 3 members of the DN Automotive Freaks. And then King. Still fed.
You're gonna keep bringing that one up on you.
Still generating and farming that aura.
He is aura farming right now. That is sure. Not as much as Pioshik is, though.
I do like how well he's sidestepped the seismic shoves.
That was pretty neat.
Especially because Bulldog has been so accurate, but the one guy, getting in there. There's the cleanse, pretty good against Leona, and the damage is done. Lehens is down, in goes Gideon, and immediately gets blown up, regretting that R press for sure. And the Baron's still available. The DN Freaks have taken a lot of damage. They're gonna back up for now.
Was it a bait? The old sacrifice the jungle and support to make the enemy team do Baron? Maybe that's the strategy. Seems unlikely. Nomshim right now. I'm not sure. Am I at the point yet? Am I at the point? Do I hate Neferi?
Oh, there we go. In goes Bulldog, but Jiwoo's got a lot of...
No way.
Okay, no, Jiwoo also dashed over the rocks. No, you can't make this up. Jiwoo is trying to get away. He's burning. Will he die? No, it looks like he will survive barely. And it might just be a free Baron.
Guys, I said something earlier today. There was a play that was made towards the top side by Pioshik on the Vi, and I said this might be the worst play we've had this season.
Yeah.
It has now lost that spot.
We're going to need an apology letter.
This, well, I mean, getting the cleanse from Berserker is nice, but the problem is he cleanses, so he doesn't die. Gideon, you've lost your Neferi pass. Honestly, making me glad it's fearless.
We need to start, we need to start giving out exams.
Who are these players? And then, genuinely,
where's Pioshik?
Where's Fisher and where's Jiwoo? Because these are not the players we saw in the LCK Cup. This was horrible for my eyes and for everyone else's eyes.
You know, at least I missed it. Jiwoo actually did get seismic shoved at like max range into the tip of the rocks. I thought he actually just somehow dashed over it, like he ulted or something. So at least that wasn't a mistake.
Yes, you need to write an apology letter to
Yeah, maybe I do.
Fisher, though, you're not getting an apology from me. That's all I'm saying.
But the whole play itself certainly was
one of the plays of all time.
It was one for the ages.
And now Dudu is full build. And, again, he is full build. He has a lot of items, a lot of damage. So is Berserker. I feel like we haven't seen that much of Dudu's presence in this game.
He's gotten like some good shock blasts in mid, but yeah, it hasn't felt like the Jace has taken over the game or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in terms of vibes, for sure.
Yeah, and we're all about vibes here at the LCK.
Yeah, not about numbers. Although, as I say that, let's take a look at the numbers here on the item value graph.
As you can see, the Rumble is very fed with only a 4,000 gold deficit.
It's very ahead of his jungler in terms of gold. So.
Yeah, very ahead of the supports.
Yeah. You can see the shock blast. It hit Kingen and Lahens. That's how much damage it does. It's not negligible.
Yeah. It's not like full lethality damage. We're not expecting that.
Yeah.
Some lethality items. And DM Freaks will...
So, this is their Baron
kill life,
push,
kill
by
life,
the
kill
way.
life, kill life.
Yeah, I mean, they have a decent amount of chase.
Go.
But,
Okay, never mind.
yeah.
They tried.
So that was their Baron push. They're trying to get a lot of vision on the bottom side jungle, it looks like, with all those pings we just saw. And they want to set up for a bottom lane push.
I'm telling you, though, Nefiri is actually a good champion.
Yeah, okay, Grandpa. We believe you.
I'm being for real. I'm being for real. Not here, not in this game, perhaps not in this league, but the champion is good, okay? They're just not good at it.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? It's not even as
What,
extreme.
Like Tryndamere?
No, it's not even as extreme.
Amumu?
Because this other pick,
There have been so many like it, though.
no, the one that really stands out to me wasn't, people didn't think of it as broken, but it was popping off in the LPL and was terrible in the LCK Shyvana.
Oh.
Remember Peanut Shyvana games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Please no.
Please no. Yeah, they're getting this push off. That's the last second of the Baron.
Oh, Equalizer does a good amount of lock damage to the Locket Shield.
Yeah, I mean, Bulldog burnt down a little bit there. They didn't have Fissure, so
Guys,
it was just kind of...
this game, there's only one way it could end. There's only one way.
Elder Flip?
Elder Flip.
Elder Flip.
It has to be an Elder
That's
Flip.
Challengers, baby.
It's just all been coming down to this.
Hashtag great Challengers.
Look, if this game was a blowout and over in like 20 minutes, Pyosik couldn't clutch the Elder fight and look like
Yeah.
a god.
We would never have that story.
Exactly.
It would never happen.
He's just, you know what? He has narrative intent. He really wants to tell a story with this game, and it would have been a lot more boring just to close that quickly.
This has all been a bunch of exposition before we get into the real nitty-gritty.
And the thing is, you may complain, too much exposition, but you need it, right, for the context, to really hammer home how big this next fight is going to be.
For this story, at least, I think absolutely.
100%. Gideon has that dog in him.
Pyosic's kind of going in, but not really. Up here on the top side as well. In goes Lens, is getting charmed up. And the peel is there, but the Zonya's, Fisher in a lot of trouble. But Gideon and Bulldog also getting into it. The flash away from Bulldog, but the Equalizer's down, and it's massive. Few flashes into 4 people! And he's gonna get one, but he's got the TA, and he has the backup, more importantly. As now the follow-up comes in from the rest of Notion. There's the divide, and takes out the Fed Jace. Berserker on the run, too. And untargetable, barely.
Pyosik's tail, the Elder Flip. This is where it ends. Noxie managed to clutch out the fight, managed to find the comeback, and should be able to take the Elder here.
Should.
A crazy fight. Lahens goes with this engage, soaks a lot of pressure, and does just manage to escape and go for a fast recall. Fisher Great Zonyas to block the ult. We see Bulldog getting chased down by Jiru, and the confidence he has on his Kai'Sa. The Equalizer provides space.
It's insane.
Kills life before the knockup comes in. GA trade between him and Dudu. He manages to reposition out to dodge Pyosik. Does miss time the W. That's my only note. 9.3 out of 10.
Thanks for the rating. No, it was very good. I mean, you know he's just shouting into comms like, I've got GA. You know, go, 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 go.
Screaming, peel for me.
And Kingen did. He got his Equalizer down.
That Equalizer was fat. Because you know what? I said this Rumble was fed, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the items, it was about the aura. And we saw that right there.
His Equalizers have been pretty fed. I'll say that.
Yeah.
They're pretty thick. The Berserker here, he knows. I mean, now with Elder for a minute 30, Nongshim just have to put on pressure. Baron comes up in 10 seconds. So they can force a fight, or DNF have to deal with Exodia.
Yeah. I think you just have to let them have it. And I think the thing is, the Elder's only for a minute 20. If you push the waves out a little bit.
Look at top wave. I mean, they can just kind of...
No, I think you can clear that out.
They'll just go mid, I guess.
And that's fine. Even if you give up mid inhib, I think that's okay against the buffs they have. You just have to stall for a minute, and once a minute's down, you can force a fight. Just after a minute, Pioshik.
It's
after
hard,
a minute.
though, because teams that have Exodia, they're so fast with their push. Okay, the wall's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to take, like, what, 7 seconds off? A little bit less.
Again, just in the wave. If the inhib dies, 1 inhib is fine. 2 inhibs, that's where it becomes a bit more of a problem. If they lose the Nexus, it's really bad. That tends to be a game-losing moment.
There's also a lot of poke pressure from the side of DNF. They have Jace, who's actually really fed, and they have this fed Corki.
Okay, they're going to give up the mid inhib, that's fine.
With full build. So if Nongshim ever overcommit, there's still a lot of damage they're going to take before the fight even happens.
20 seconds, mid inhib down. They have to try and find a way to protect this top inhib, though. You don't want to give over both.
13 seconds.
Wait, Nongshim is trying to dive.
Yeah, oh, he lands a solo player and a Bulldog, the one guy who's not quite able to get out of it. He doesn't have flash, and he just burns down. And now with no Talia, they might just be able to push this one 5v4 even without Elder buff. They have the Baron buff here. They're going to push with the top wave. Dudu desperate to clear out these minions. And he's doing a decent job of it. Looks like the mid wave, though, is coming in. This tower on the top side is getting quite low. King and trying to do his best, but he's actually getting burst down by Dudu. And you can see they're so apprehensive to try to go for the end at this point in time, but they're just going to send it right now. They get Gio into the back line. He does have the Zonias, by the way, 6th item. And now they're just going to try to peel for him. Just auto the Nexus, but Gio has other thoughts in mind as he wants more kills, but his team ends the game. And it takes about 45 minutes, but Nongshim finally figured it out.
You know what? I think Gio was probably the weakest member on this roster in the LCK Cup, and it was really just him not being in the form that had hyped us up on him on Nongshim. But this game is the form we've seen from him before, and he really showed up because this was not clean, this was not decisive, this was a mess. But Gio kind of rose above it all and said, I am winning this game no matter what. Had some clutch plays in the Kai'Sa, came with some great equalizers. At the end of the day, a dub's a dub, right? But they do have to go onto the Rift again. And that was a gauntlet, I feel.
Yeah.
Yoshik's nodding like, yep, I had it all planned. But unfortunately...
That was the moment. We were about to have the Elder flip. I told you guys.
Dudu and Berserker doing a good amount of damage. You know what? This is the sort of game where you could probably sit down for a couple of hours and talk through it with your team and pick apart everything. You don't have that much time, okay? You really don't. So the coaches have to be concise, and you have to somehow break it through, because ultimately I think DM Freaks had a pretty good draft, but they just weren't able to match up to Nongshim in these clutch moments, or at least not enough of them.
Not enough of them. A very back and forth first game. We're going to take a break and have the space. We'll be right back.
이번에 바이라게 바이라 먹어 바이라 끄네만해 어때? 끄네만해 야 바이라면 조심해 이번에 딜러들 바이라면 공 있다 앞라인부터 칠게 천천히 네 이번에 몸 넣을 테니까 깔리지 말고 오케이 이번에 근데 한 다이브 박을만 오케이 천천히 오케이 미터 영태야 찔러야 돼 너 근데 너가 찔러줘야 돼너 쫄져 있잖아 야야야야 너 이렇게 못 넣을게 갈게 바이바이 야 타워 치던가 타워 치자 타워 끝나 명태야.
Not his best performance, but maybe one of his more iconic performances. Now we head into game 2. Once again, Nongshim on the red side, and it is Fearless. So we won't get to see Neferi again. Obviously, a win from Neferi last game, really impactful. Really drove that game. But losing out on the Kai'Sa for Jiwoo, little sad. So he had a great performance on that. Rumble for Kingin. But even like, I feel like out of game 1, I thought DM Freaks had a pretty great draft.
Yeah,
They had a pretty great draft.
they did.
Pretty
I mean, the thing is,
favoring it.
we have
So-
already learned today multiple times that the draft does not win you the game.
Draft is fake. Maybe the preferred method would be we just don't talk about the draft and we just sit here in silence as it passes by.
What if we let the space do the draft?
No, don't do that because you give Mao too much power.
That's true.
You know what Mao's like with power.
Chronicler, yeah, he already has enough power.
Mao's a megalomaniac.
That could not be more accurate. I think you've really hit the nail on the head there. So
You know, he got his prediction wrong earlier today.
he did?
I think so.
Yeah, he did. we were talking about it before the match.
That's why you might have seen he did on the space. If anyone was wondering why Mao was saying he did. Always gets to him. Renekton banned, but Morgan isn't even playing.
That means they want to pick Ambessa.
Well, tough.
Wait.
Varus open. Varus first pick.
It's banned, and you left Varus open to Berserker.
Yeah. Do I want to play Varus?
Yone's still open, by the way. We didn't see it at all in
Yep.
game 1.
And Sejuani's banned again, so who's to say we will see it again here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe Yone is also fake.
Waiting for it. It's hard to talk about something else because it's
But-
really just going to be Varus first pick.
Varus.
Right now.
Ezreal.
There's
I knew it was going to be Ezreal the whole time, man.
Okay, well, Nongshim take Varus in return. You know, Berserker definitely confident in the Ezreal. Interesting to see it prioritized over the Varus, though. I don't think there's many teams in the LCK who would do that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe predicting a heavy dive comp, and now Talia isn't pickable, so they want to make sure they have supreme safety for their AD carry.
Yep, Skarner. Skarner, of course. Comes in. More reliable tank jungler. Sejuani's banned, obviously. Varus getting...
Where's Var?
Varus is getting ignored.
Was he played? Like, did we miss this?
Look, guys, I think the lesson here is that Varus is immobile, and you want to sort of snowball him, have pressure in lane. No, this is just, guys, if it goes the way last game did, if it's a bit of a mess, we want 80 carries, you can just thrive in the chaos. That is the strategy coming out, okay? Everything we know about League of Legends is out the window. This is just fight night. This is just a battle on the Rift.
Well, I mean, that's okay. Or maybe there was a game 2 that was redone and we just cut the clip, and now this is actually game 3. Maybe we missed a game and Varus was actually banned.
Maybe. So here, if you want to match mid, now is the time. I think that's what they'll look for. They do have the Skarner in the jungle, and they're going to go Galio. So, very bulky. Very bulky. This is putting a lot of eggs in the Zeri basket in this situation. You are playing into an Ezreal Ahri, though, and you're playing Skarner Galio. The thing with Skarner Galio is if you get on your target, great. But those aren't the easiest targets to get onto. I do think that the Xin Zhao might not have the most fun into that, though, personally. Yeah. But yeah, this feels like... You know what? If this was Game 5 Fearless, I'd get it. But it just feels like a little bit of a stray away from the established meta we have.
Uh-oh. Any ban missers?
See, I'd make a joke about Nocturne, because you know how it's blacked out. But Nocturne's already banned.
Yeah.
I can't even make that joke.
Can't even make the joke.
It would have been really funny as well. You'd have given me a little chuckle if I'd done that.
I probably would,
Well,
depending on my mood. All right, Alistair.
yeah, Alistair denial. We'll see. I would have thought they might be able to throw some bans towards top lane, potentially. Maybe something like a Gnar, something that's like a stable blind, and then give counter pick to Kingen. Maybe Kingen wants to go the Gnar, though. Braum ban comes out.
Lehens had to teach his younger brother how to ban.
Yeah. I mean, Rel's still open in terms of engage supports, but Braum's not that good into Rel. Normally, Braum's pretty good into Leona and Alistair, and those two are taken away. Nautilus, I'd say, maybe they want a Nautilus. I think DM Freaks could just ban that. But maybe it's a bait. They want them to ban Nautilus, and then they pick Yuumi. Yeah, they didn't fall for the Nautilus bait.
Yeah.
They banned the Lulu.
Yuumi?
You know, it'd be crazy if they just take Gnar here, and then they go Yuumi on 5. No, they got the Nautilus. Okay, it wasn't a bait. It was. They were very literally just doing exactly what I thought. And DM Freaks banned the Lulu instead.
Yeah.
They definitely need to engage to pair with the Galio, because I think the Skarner wouldn't have been enough into these mobile carries. So I think Nautilus makes sense.
Will there be another champion that does damage for Nongshim? Maybe something like a Jax?
Surely Kingen has to pick a champion that does damage. Surely.
Yeah. Aatrox.
Yep. That is a champion that does damage, but it's on the other side. And also into such a short range, melee heavy composition. This is a crazy Aatrox game.
Yeah.
This is like an insanely good Aatrox game.
Is this a good set angle? Into the
Yeah.
Nautilus, into all of these heavy dudes on the other side?
It legit is. The boring option is you just take the Rel. The Giga Chat option is you take the set.
Yeah.
Or even like the
Fortunately.
Gragas, as we saw masterfully demonstrated by Beryl.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. And now, deciding what we're going to see Kingen on.
It's more range?
Yeah, it's
Gnar?
the Gnar.
Yeah.
Not really a big surprise. And also, I mean, this comp is going to be pretty reliant on the Zeri. You have a lot of CC. You have this backline carry, a bit of damage from Kingen. I think this is a great Aatrox angle, honestly. The matchup in a Gnar, very playable. We've seen it go comfortably in the right hands before. And just you have so many champions diving into you to get huge value. Ezreal should also be pretty good. This is like a G-War bust angle, it feels, honestly, this game. As long as like Pyosik doesn't do anything weird on Xin Zhao. And the thing is, like, I feel like for any other player, I'd have to like explain what I mean when I say weird. I don't.
But we know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It can sometimes go awry, they say.
Yes, it can. Doing a bit of reading there, Brendan?
Yeah.
Trying to read
Looked
the
like
signs?
it said Pyo6 instead of Pyo6. So I was curious about that.
All right. I mean, they're trying. Not everyone has a flawless handwriting. I'm looking. Look at your notes.
Mine is terrible.
This is horrible.
I don't know how you read it when you copy all of my notes at the end of every game. Here's the draft tier from the side of the DN Freaks. The Ahri and the Xin Zhao looking to come together. They have a lot of threats with Aatrox and Ezreal as well. This is just a protect the Zeri comp. And Gnar can sometimes auto-attack. Let's get ready to hop on the rip for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Oh my god.
just Kingen just going. What?
He was just joining in on the fan chant.
Oh man, that was good. That was great.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be one of those games. Last game was one of those games. It's gonna be another.
The last one is really what set this. It really teed up game number 2 to become one of those games.
One of the games of all time.
Yeah.
Truly a legendary one. It's just peak, you know. Lehens is looking. They're having a dance off, and Lehens is trying to snipe.
They already saw him.
Yeah, they did ping him.
He is spotted.
He's not very subtle. I think it's the skin. It's a little bit.
Shiny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need a more camouflage heavy skin. Should have gone subterranean Nautilus. That's the go-to. Then you can just burrow underground.
I think you should be able to buy an item at level 1 where you can just go invisible for 10 seconds.
Sounds really balanced. Welcome to the balanced team, Brendan Valdez.
It has no stats, so it's a trade-off, you know? It's like it replaces a Doran's item, but it's like Doran's stealth blade. You can just stealth into the back.
All right, let's get you out of the kitchen. Never cook again.
Well, Zeri Nautilus struggling a little
the thing
bit
is,
here.
you said invisible for 10 seconds as well.
Yeah.
Not even, oh, okay, yeah, totally.
It
Very
takes a
balanced.
while to walk at level 1.
Oh, what's that? Blitzcrank has a 150% win rate? How is that even possible? It's crazy.
That makes sense to me. We should have seen Lahens play Blitzcrank in this game.
Into Ezreal?
Into Ezreal.
Stop cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, Fisher is getting cooked.
Sometimes you land against Ari and you just run into one too many Qs and you're like, huh.
It's fine, he's level 3 now. He has abilities, he can press his buttons.
Yeah. He also does have a health potion.
That is generally used to restore health.
Yeah. That'll help. Will he get this last? No, he won't. So he's down 3 CS.
Yeah, he'll live. It's okay. He's a Galio. He's chilling. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one because I really don't like the whole Nongshim. I wonder what Galio we're going to see, because if it's like the tank Galio, which we have typically been seeing, and it's like tank mid, tank jungle, kind of underwhelming, especially when... Oh. Especially when the Ahri... So normally you see like the Bruiser Ahri and it goes Liandry's, which is unsurprisingly great in these tanks. But it's also Grasp from Bulldog, because he's like, I'm into a melee champion, I can stack it for free. So this is like prime Bruiser Ahri scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, and electrocute. Aatrox getting a big trade there.
What if Fisher just goes Rod of Ages? Leandries himself. He's like, this is the build.
I don't know. I feel like he could.
Probably not going to.
Probably
do
not
that.
going to. Maybe lacking a bit of ability haste for Galio.
Yeah. Oh, a max range Justice Punch.
Gets another Justice Punch. He's doing some good. Actually, sorry, it's the passive's not Justice Punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the passive.
That's why you're not a play-by-play.
I'm trying.
It's funny because I also just call everything Q and W. Actually, Atlas is the guy that knows the ability names, so that's why you're not Atlas.
All right, let's go through them. What's Aatrox Q? That's an easy one.
Aatrox Q?
Yeah, what's it called?
I don't know.
You don't know? Aatrox Q?
I've only been casting this game for like 10 years. I've also played
This was the
a
Brendan.
decent amount of Aatrox.
This was like the starter one. This was supposed to be the easy one.
So the thing is, here's the thing. I used to play on the Korean client in all Korean, so you know that's why I make those mistakes.
Yeah. Well,
And we couldn't change it to English, so
it's the Darkened Blade. Okay. Let's try.
I know all the other ones.
Let's try REQ.
REQ?
Yeah.
Is that Orb of Deception?
Yes. Okay.
All right. Okay.
I'm not going to talk about Skarner because they changed all of his, so it'll be confusing. Okay.
It's
how about
Impale, right?
one of them is? How about Ezreal W?
Is that like Mystic Flux?
No. Flux is right.
Maybe it used to be. Essence Flux?
Yeah. There you go.
Mystic Sean. Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
No, that's Q.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I said Mystic.
Okay. What's Xin Zhao Q?
Sinzao Q, I actually don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 Talon Strike. Because when you
But
press
Talon's
it,
a different champion.
3 Talons come out and strike them. Is it 3 Talon Strike? God, now you're making me second guess it. Thanks,
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes, it is.
Okay. God.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
He's gonna 3 Talon strike this grub.
Where are
here.
the Talons? I see 3 grubs. Well, 2 now. Oh, Gideon.
Gideon just got stunned, and now he's being chased down. Has to flash away. That's kind of awkward, and they're just kind of leaving him to die.
Super dead.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, you're super dead, bro. Maybe Bulldog? No, he's
Actually,
gonna get away.
bro was in the last series.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They would have said, you're super dead, Nongshim Gideon.
Nongshim Red Force Gideon.
Oh, sorry.
To you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that. You don't know the ability name.
I do know the team names. I think that is a little bit more important.
Okay, every time you refer to them, I want you to use the full names. It's like when you're in trouble with your parents.
Yeah.
And they use your full. They go Brendan Valdez. Well,
Yeah,
I guess
they
maybe
would-
they use your middle name
They
as well.
would
if you're
definitely
really,
say that.
if you're
yeah.
really in trouble, you know.
Yeah.
So you'd be like DN Automotive Freaks. Can't believe you lost that first game.
Yeah. But Degon says that every time.
Yeah, he does.
The DN Automotive Freaks.
Maybe Degon's just always disappointed with them.
You know, checks out.
Okay, well, Nongshim are heavily invading this red buff. In life, I don't think you can contest it. You're not all jungle Rel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gideon wants his
Yoshik's
revenge.
there. Oh, Yoshik's going in.
Follow-up. And the thing is, they don't have Zeri, so they don't do anything. They just die.
Yes.
So that's the end of Fisher and his invade.
Okay, so
Buddies.
tank mid tank jungle, kind of dead. Berserker getting zapped a little bit, but it was just a zoning ult.
Yeah, we saw that in the first series as well.
It's already starting.
I don't know why. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it can be applied to a lot of things, Brendan. I think there's a lot of situations where I've been asking myself, I don't know why. But something we do know is that Yoshik is pretty far ahead in this jungle matchup. Mid's ahead, AD carries ahead. DN Automotive Freaks are pretty sizably ahead overall, despite the earliness of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the side of Nongshim, you're kind of okay with that. Just because the whole idea is you're playing around Zeri getting fed and eventually carrying, right? She's not going to do too much early on. Not with this comp.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're behind, like you only have 2 threats, and one of them's a Gnaw, you know? Like, you kind of need...
Yeah.
It's not enough just for Zeri to exist. You kind of need her to be strong. And she's already starting to fall behind.
Yeah.
Thanks to that kill that was gifted over. And if you start losing out in the mid-jungle, then Ari Zinzao is going to take over.
Like, realistically, it's not a good thing. Like, just objectively, it's not good to be behind. So you're not going to have a lot of angles. But
Oh, it isn't?
At
Being
least...
behind in, wait, so, sorry, just to clarify. Being behind in gold in League of Legends is generally a bad thing.
Yeah.
Is that what we're
You
establishing?
can write that down. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take note.
I'm just delivering all the information today.
I'll write that next to the note that says what Aatrox Q is called. Darkened Blade.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't need a note because I knew it already. Sorry.
It's just that they have an out, you know? It's like, okay, well, we're behind, but it's not the end of the world because
They could just Zeri it up.
we have a way to potentially...
And Jiwoo played well last game, so...
yeah, and the way that game 1 wins, if it gets chaotic, Zeri's going to love it. And so will Ezreal and Ari and Aatrox, but
And you
forget
know
about
it's gonna
that.
Get chaotic.
Forget about that for just a second.
Oh.
Nice hook there, actually, to deny the crash down, but Kingen on Mininar is getting so bullied here. Fisher also losing against Bulldog on the left side. They're not going to be able to challenge this Chemtech Drake, so that just goes over to DNF pretty freely.
Yep. Oh, Kingen. Essence Flux misses,
Yes.
but the Mystic Shot does connect.
He did not use his True Shot Barrage at that point.
We see Lahens approaching, looking for a potential dredge line, which is his Q ability.
It's not Anchor Toss.
No.
It could be, though, right? Like, just imagine he's got an anchor, he
But
throws
he
it out.
doesn't throw it, like it's still in his hand when he launches it out, you know?
Yeah. So is it dredge line because it goes in a straight line?
Well, because he's like,
It's not like-
you know, you dredge in the water. Like you,
It's not like dredge semicircle?
when you dredge something, you like put it out and you pull through, like,
Yeah.
you know? That's the whole point.
Yeah, but you also, like, let down the anchor.
All right, don't beef with me. I didn't name the abilities.
It is an anchor, right? Maybe
Yes.
it's an anchor line and that's why it's dredge line. I don't know much about ships.
You're not a
Maybe Degon.
nautical expert.
Maybe Degon does.
We need
He's
some
from
Navy
America.
experts. What? You're from America.
Yeah, but so is
Did Degon serve in the Navy? I could imagine it.
probably. I mean, maybe he didn't, but he probably did.
I'm just picturing Degon in a sailor's outfit.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think he'd look good.
I think he'd look sharp.
Yeah.
And you know he's the sort of person who would keep it very...
Yeah.
he'd keep
Ship
up
shape.
appearances. Ship shaped. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there's
There's-
the anchor toss straight into the Aatrox. Dudu gonna throw that ult out and just run away.
Sorry, I'm confused. You said anchor toss, but none of the champions in this game have that ability.
Oh, yeah, I was just describing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes... Oh, it's the Nautilus Q. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
When you think about it, it makes sense, right?
Think about...
Yeah,
I don't do much of that.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
They're
I mean,
just
life's on
standing
a
on a
ward.
ward.
Yeah? He's like, bait them. I'll wait here. Oh,
Look at this baiting. It's like he's like, stop moving.
Wait, you've just control ward. You know there's a ward.
Okay, well now he doesn't have his world ender, so he's just dead. And that's a kill to guess who? Jiwoo.
You know what's messed up there?
What?
They didn't let Gideon get the hard steel stack.
That is kind of messed up.
Free extra health, you know, would have gone a long way. But
They
kill on
should've.
Jiwoo, generally seen as a good thing to have kills on Zeri. You know, it's pretty widely accepted in the analytical community. Kills on Zeri tend to increase proximity to wins.
It's not a Zeri moment, though.
No, not yet.
It's just a straight up.
I mean, I'm not certified to call it, but, you know, my non-expert opinion suggests it's not a Zeri moment yet.
You know, I started casting with Wolf in 2014. That was over 10 years ago.
You know why I know that?
Why do you know that?
Because my partner today got recommended your profile on Facebook and sent me a bunch of pictures of you from years ago, and there's one of you and Wolf, and you look like babies.
Yeah.
You know?
2014 is actually when I was full-time. We did cast together before that in 2013, so. And 2012, actually, the end of 2012.
I also found out as a result that you had, one time your hair was dyed blonde.
That did happen, yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Very,
wild
very
look.
unfortunate. It was not just blonde, it was like Pikachu blonde.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
look.
like yellow.
It was a look, you
It
know.
was rough. It was,
Was that your Ezreal cosplay era?
yeah,
You wanted to fire out your Mystic Shot and your Essence Flux?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. True Shot Barrage,
That's another one. Arcane Shift does fire a projectile.
yeah.
Wait, is Essence Flux passive? Am I wrong?
No, that's a charm on the Galio, and also a Magnet Storm. I mean, Fisher's kind of just shaking it off, and then he's just gonna ult on top of Lahez. This dive is going massively wrong, and again, Poshik dives on a top dive. Although this time, they at least get the kill. At the end of the day, Lahen's also is just Nautilus, so he's in a bit of trouble. Nice dodges there. But can he dodge the charm? He's sticking around. He's got some reinforcements, and now the charm misses, so he's sticking around.
Trying to get the Zeri in there.
Yeah. Trying to bait this for as long as possible, and it's going to work out. Lahen's, he's just so good at this. The Impale comes down, and that is the end of Bulldog eventually. They want to get the kill over. Nearly the Rock Steal goes over to Gideon.
Yeah, another kill for Zeri. Pretty huge. And this time, he got the hard steel stack.
He did.
You know, I was a little bit dismayed at the prospect. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so diving at Galio, even though they landed their skills, still a challenge.
They didn't land the crash down.
Well, that is something. The fact he managed to get the ult off, kind of wild. And then the fact you have to flash in for the kill. This has already gone badly, but then getting baited in, at some point you have to think people are going to turn up, you know.
He was baiting them for like 15 straight seconds.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe that's what threw them off. They're like, if they were going to be here, they'd have been here by now.
Yeah.
나안 죽어. 안 죽어.
I don't die. I don't die.
드리블하는 거야,
I didn't hear the rest of that.
He was right.
Lahen's is, I think, maybe one of the fastest speakers of any pro player. By the way, so when me and Wolf are trying, it's really hard.
Yappa.
There's the crash down, and Life actually in a bit of trouble. This Zeri, not that bad. Doing a lot of damage. Gonna push them back. There's the charm, but Galio doesn't care about that.
Yeah, and it was just not finishing off the Dragon. So one of the concerns would be, hey, they banned Zerial. Are they going to want to fight Dragon? But they pick it up. Nope, fight has to come through. Longshin feeling pretty good. And I did have to verify. So I was like, what if I was wrong? His passive is called Rising Spell Force.
You know who would have known that is Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows all the ability names.
All of them.
Every single one.
We'll have to
You can
verify
test
that
him next
sometime.
time, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Real thing.
Maybe I will.
Maybe in a game like this where, you know, there's really not a lot going on.
Well, what do you mean not a lot of, not a lot?
Well, now there is, but
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes we were really struggling.
We were building up, you know, ramping, scaling.
Yeah.
And this Zeri, you know, one of the conditions for this composition to work is Zeri being strong, and Zeri's looking to be pretty strong with how things are going.
Yeah. She's trying her best. Hitting the gym.
Jiwoo is rather fed in terms of aura, you know?
Yeah.
Slightly fed in terms of gold.
I feel like the way that Zeri runs around and like the way the gun bounces up and down, I feel like she already has a lot of aura, you know? She's got a lot of swag.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More than Ezreal.
Definitely.
A little soccer outfit.
She's got like the cape and stuff. I think it just looks cooler. That's a free Rift Herald here for Nongshim, by the way. And
Yeah,
again,
they're
it's
kinda sweeping up.
It's a game where DN Freaks are ahead on gold, and pretty much every lane is doing well except for Zeri. Obviously, these drafts are different, but it just feels like Nongshim are getting a lot of stuff kind of for free. This is an issue that DN Freaks have had for a while now, since the LCK Cup, where they just kind of give up a lot. I mean, now they're just getting a charge in the mid. It's going to be a mid-tier 1, and now maybe even a kill. The Impale going to hit 2, and the Zeri ult on top. They're very tanky, but still, it's a kill. It's traded back. The 2 supports are going to go down. Flash away here as Gideon in a lot of trouble, and he will be traded back. It's a couple over to Berserker. And so at least he's getting fed himself too.
Yeah, good answer back. Looking to pressure this tower here. The TP's coming in from Kingin. Doesn't get stopped by Dudu. Mega!
Oh boy, that is a lot of trouble here for Bulldog. He's gonna take another turret shot, but they're killing the Mininar underneath the turret. As Berserker's like, nah, I'm just gonna take this tier 1. Flash on in! Speak about aura farming, he's looking for the kill now. Arcane shifts in and just walks away.
I mean, Pioshik is going for this.
I don't even know if he wins that.
I think he does. I think...
With Thunder Sky, probably.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough damage to Fish to kill him. Very hectic passage of play there. It looked like it was pretty clean sailing for Nongshim, but they kind of overcommitted here. And the drag in looks like it's going to do more than it does, but the ult comes out. And the Xin Zhao buys a lot of time. He doesn't really take much damage, and then they just don't have gas in the tank for the rest of this play. Bulldog moves in with the ultimate, cleans up that kill. And then this was where it got a little messy. The Meganar turning up was kind of crazy. That's exactly who you want to turn up with a TP. But then he kind of got focused down and turned Mini at like the worst time.
Yeah. And also it was Ezreal, so the second guy that was supposed to stay at the wall just buffers it.
Yeah.
And
He does do that.
I mean,
It's a 4-0 Zeri, but there's a lot more. Here's the thing, is like there's a lot more threats on the side of DN Freaks, and there's a lot more gold in their favor, but it's a very fed Zeri. It is also level 13 Jiwoo, who is tied with the solo laners right now.
Yeah.
Higher level than Fisher.
I mean, we've seen Ezreal's take over games. We've seen even like Fed Aatrox's take over games and Fed Ari's, but Zeri's kind of on a different level, and she does have a lot of
Do you remember,
other tools in the draft to help her do her job.
do you remember when Zeri got released and she like broke the record for pentakills despite being out for like 1/10 at the time of these other champions?
And
Something
then
like that?
Didn't Smolder like do the same thing?
No, I don't think Smolder did.
But then
Smolder
there was
had a
the
lot,
one
but not as
season
many.
that
Smolder
all the pentas were Smolder.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zeri, yeah, that's true. Because she kind of did a similar thing where you could never get away from her. So a lot of
I think what's crazy is like Zeri's playable now, but how ungodly she was once upon a time.
Yeah. Well, we're playing something now. We got TPs coming in. Fisher jumping away, but Lahans is just going to be the bait that, well, not the bait, just the sacrifice.
Oh,
Oh, the
flash.
flash forward is beautiful from Dudu. And that's going to be a couple of kills just in the pocket. They were just kind of ran into each other in the river. And a weird fight begins right outside the Otacon. So they're just going to give it up and take the turret bot instead.
I mean, I think if they get this, they should honestly go for Dragon now. If Gideon started it up, I think if they got Dragon in their spot tower, they could actually be happy with the trade as long as they can mitigate the... oh my, that is not good.
Hey, he's got cleanse at least, but...
Yeah, so they don't get the tower. Looking to get the Dragon. That's the thing, it is Voracious Otacon, so the buff in and of itself isn't valuable. It's only valuable if you can transition it into something, right? Dragon's now down. Baron's not going to be up in time. So you have to get something off this. Right now they're looking at this top tier 2. They should be able to get this. Will they be able to get any more is the question.
So they're looking for life, actually. We do have Bulldog here as well, but the push kind of continuing in the top side. Yes, life will be withdrawn. So Jiu should be able to pick up 200 more gold. So there you go, he does get that. Now they already took the inner, so they can't really push this any further in the top lane, actually, so.
At least to get to mid, though, and clear out that way.
Yeah.
I feel like if they transitioned over there, they could have maybe got mid tier 2. That would have been good. This is the thing, they can just kind of dive at the Galio. Nongshim win in a position to contest. The Nod doesn't have TP, so they're like, get out, get away. The Hen's willing to sacrifice himself. The Fisher gets blocked by this flash from Dudu and ends up going down. So, thing is, like, it was good from DN Automotive Freaks, but what are they getting from this Atakan, you know?
Yeah. I feel like for DNF, they're a team that obviously has a lot of talents. If they could just figure out how to play better around objectives and as a team, they would be so good. Well,
Like, this is like the copy pasta.
Yeah. But it's not. It's just those two things. It's not everything else.
Okay.
It's not mid-game, late game, early game, mid-macro, micro. Oh, boy. Well, Pyosic's pretty deep, but he does have the Atacon buff still. So trying to make this into a fight in their favor. Now Lahens has to flash away. Kind of unfortunate for him. A lot of damage is being done to Gideon as well. He has to flash out of that one. In they go. Big extendo beam onto multiple, and DNF don't want to give away free gold. So
imagine,
well, let's back away.
Imagine if that was old Zeri with the crit extendo beam.
Oh no.
That would have just won the whole team.
Oh, that was
ungodly, was it?
That was just not fair.
It was not balanced. Oh. Well, they do manage to defend the play is the big thing for Nongshim. I think didn't commit more because there was that scary Aatrox in their face, but also just the fact that it's obviously Atacam buffed, so better just wait it out. You're not trading. If you trade evenly, you're kind of trading down, and the buff is going to wear off in 10 seconds. And I think overall, you know, they got the Atacam buff, they got a tier 2 top, and Nongshim got a dragon. I think Nongshim probably happier with that outcome.
Yeah, I mean, the game extends, and I mean, all the carriers are getting pretty fed. Like, Ezreal got a kill and an assist extra, so at least he's keeping up with the Zeri, but it's still a Zeri comp, and they're still going to have an answer to the Zeri. They do not have a lot of CC, and the CC that they do have, a lot of it is cleansable if it's not Rel.
It's down to Life.
Yeah.
Life needs to get on him.
Like, even Rel's Q also cleansable, so like, there are a lot of ways that you can just get out of dodge and just take an extended fight. So they're really going to have to find a good angle with that and just burst them down with all of their damage.
I will say, though, it's a Zeri without a support, so can feel a little, without like a enchanter, so it can feel a little bit more fragile.
I can't believe you would say that about Lahens.
Lahens is just... Oh, they're looking.
Oh, boy. Just going to face check the brush, and the Impale is gigantic. But here comes the rest of the squad. Jiu, though, is totally protected and cannot get in on the Galio. I thought maybe with the Aatrox could find an angle, but it wasn't meant to be. They do only get one, and Pyosic gets away barely. Ooh. That's going to have to be flashed by Ezreal.
Played a dangerous game there. Yeah, I mean, the M-Freaks are ahead in gold, and that's why that didn't go as one-sided as you'd think in here. Managing to disengage from the situation, but chasing over here was a dangerous move, and you can see Berserk was channeling his recall before this happened. They weren't ready for this. The 5-man stack in the brush, Aatrox goes down. They are very fortunate not to lose Life and Pyosik in this situation, and the Berserker limit testing a little bit with the Arcane Shift.
Yes, indeed. He does live, and he is Ezreal, so it's not the end of the world that he does lose his flash at the end of the day. Jiwoo, top gold, and that's not a big surprise. You can see that at least Berserker, like I said before, is kind of keeping close. And it's actually Pyosik that's second from the jungle.
This is the thing with a game like this, is if Jiwoo dies, more often than not, Nongshim just lose the fight. Yeah. And I know, like, obviously, like, losing an 80 carry is generally bad for a fight, but, like, if Jiwoo and Berserker are traded, like, the M-Freaks win, you know? Yeah. Even a situation where, like, Berserker and Judo trade for Jiwoo, they might still win. Like, that is how much of the power in the fights is down to this Zeri, who not only has the most gold, but is a lot of that follow-through
Fisher and Gideon will just not be able to cut through these targets, especially when it's like an Aatrox Sin Zhao with Sundered Sky, it's Bruiser Ari. So they really need to be a little cautious about how they approach these fights. Another weird just Dragon. It's 26 minutes. Dragon just going to be taken, apparently.
Fisher's just top split pushing as Galio. He doesn't even have TP. He's about to get it.
Unless...
I mean...
He doesn't have Flash.
Yeah, now Pyosik in a little bit of a weird spot. It's just going to come down to a flip because why not? It goes to Aatrox, as that is going to be a big impale and the stun into the wall, but Dudu does survive just barely. TP coming in from behind, but this Zeri is popping off. Lahens might go down. They do take him down, but look at this Zeri. Ziyu going to get one. He's looking for more. He goes over the wall. Dudu in a lot of trouble, gets taken out. Life and Berserker so super low. He dodges the charm. He dodges everything. And the follow-up is looking to come in here. The Flash Stone thrown in his face, and Bulldog also has to flash. And those broken up team fights are always going the way of Jiu and Nongxin.
Just good to see a punish there. DM Freaks having the audacity to start that Dragon up, just thinking, hey, we can sneak him free. Pyosik with no flash in the pit, no way of getting out unless he jumped to Kingen, who jumped over first. And the thing is, Yari arrives so late in this situation. We see Dudu almost dead immediately on the back of this. Jiu just free hitting. Finally, Bulldogs arrives to provide a bit of that threat. He pretty much instantly gets CC'd, and Jiu is just starting to go into cleanup mode.
Yeah, at this point, it's really quite easy for this area. Like, not these dodges, that's very nice mechanically, but like, his job is just press forward and just try to hunt people down. Nice little snipe from Gideon, gets
900 gold. Yeah.
886 gold.
Yeah, I rounded up.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
that's going to be the equalizer. No rumble in this game, but Nongxin, for the first time.
Oh my god, you know what? Last game's gold graph was exactly like this. It was like mountain peaks, and then he just dipped into a trench.
Yeah.
So, DM Freaks fans hoping this one doesn't go the same way. There is a massive bounty on this Zeri, but it is also a 7-kill Zeri. If this is what you need in this game, you needed a fed Zeri, you have a fed Zeri, and it's in Jiwoo's hands now.
Yeah. It wasn't even really a Zeri moment. It was just bit by bit.
Yeah.
Like 1 kill top, another kill. I think it was mid. It was just like just 1 kill by one. As now World Ender Dudu, he's just getting bullied on the bottom side. They just didn't have much vision in their own jungle. And eventually they'll just give the kill over. He is legendary on the Zeri in the Zeri composition.
Yeah. Starting to become a was already a major issue, getting more extreme now. Gold allocation, like gold overall is even, the allocation is exactly where you want to be. Like if you look at the DM Freaks, they have a 2k gold lead on the Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
And not really what you're looking for in this moment.
Yeah, like we saw that graph before, Pyosik was second on total gold gains. Like, that's rough.
And this Aatrox,
behind this area.
This Aatrox, who has a lot of value in this game, just seems to be having issues, getting caught out a little bit, not being in the right spot to have value. Tivu buys Infinity Edge. Looked like he was going towards Bloodthirster, but just happy with the Vamp Scepter. He is very strong right now. And I think Nongxin, I think they're fine just taking this one slowly if they need to. But they are definitely the ones with the power in the items right now.
DNF, they're kind of posturing around this Baron big time, where it's almost like we're going to see game one again, where they just say, okay, we're just going to do the Baron. I don't think there's any world where you can start it in this game.
I think if you start Baron, it's basically equivalent to an FFO. Like there is no way against a Zeri and all that CC you can just start it up randomly.
There's no way.
They're just clearing the vision.
They're just clearing the vision. Guys, they're just clearing the vision. Don't worry. They're just, yeah, I think they're just life-stealing off of the Baron here a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, no reaction just yet. Okay, finally, Nongxin are beginning to collapse. As the Xanadu comes through, they know this is happening. And it might just come down to a flip. Pyosik sticking around. There's the ult, but the Galio's still in there. Fisher's just going to go golden, waiting for the right time to pull the trigger as the Meganar. Look at this timing here from King, and it just comes up. He only ults Pyosik back in. A nice ult from Life in that front line. The Hens is going to go down first, but the Zeri, again, is totally uncounted for. They do a bit of damage to him. Bulldog desperate to take him out, but It's not quite enough. Berserker, though, extremely healthy here on the left side. They do take out Bulldog. Berserker on the chase. It looks like King and Will have to sacrifice. It's now the front line. Trying to chase him down. This Ezreal is very slippery, especially for these two champions. And Jiu, he's life sealed up.
Yeah,
he's ready to go.
I mean, if they slow kill Berserker,
well, they're just going to do the Baron, I guess.
I guess they can.
Yeah.
They can just body block with the Baron.
Oh, he got hit by that.
But he can't heal up. They can just use the Baron to block the Mystic shots.
Yeah. Berserk, I mean, at some point, he's going to look to get this angle up top, but again, he doesn't have smite or anything, so he can only poke, and that's not going to be enough.
Yep, good moves
to Baron.
Good patience. Dragon is up. Bulldog's up in 20, but has TP. Dude, it's a scuttle. Just no one cares. Go set up for Dragon.
No, I must get the skull.
Jeez.
Think about the vision control.
Yeah, everyone for comedic timing. Yoshik started up the Baron. And Nongshim, just this positioning from Jiwoo, who's basically untouched at this point. A couple of the CCs don't connect.
The Impale misses, the Meganar's kind of whatever.
But Jiwoo's still untouched, and he's just able to free fire, getting great amount of damage. Shu JoE. The charm for Bulldog does actually connect here, but it just doesn't have the follow-up damage to finish him off, unfortunately. But even if he did, I mean, he would have got a stack, he would have been able to get out, but not quite able to find the angle. And now Nongshim will be able to start up his Dragon, and no real contest for that.
Yeah, it's double Mountain, and now Mountain Soul points here for Nongshim. Just imagine, you've got this Fed Zeri, you've got this extremely tanky frontline that's only getting tankier, and everything really does hinge on the Zeri, but if she's got Mountain Soul, she's even less killable, as now everybody trying to charge over the top and get something going, but it's just not going to land. It's Zeri, she just dashes away. Jiu has Flash available.
Yeah, it was a decent attempt, and like the theory's there because there was no cleanse available, but like you had to commit over the wall with a Hex Flash, and then you'll have Flash to close the distance, and Jiu just dashed away. Doesn't have to burn his summoner. Also has a mixed Scimitar now, by the way, so double cleanse effect, essentially. Well, I guess now cleanse is on cooldown, but has that for the charm if it does come in. And now Bulldog with no ult. They're kind of just in defensive mode.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the best wave clear either. I mean, Ezreal trying his best. Ari is okay. Nice charm here on a King in a bit of trouble. Has to flash. Look at that damage coming in. The Impale is onto life only. They do take him out, though, as Ziwoo's just a raid boss right now. Going to take out the Xindao. And just like that, everybody stays healthy. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit scary, but it's fine because they still have the Zeri, who is 12-0-3. They're going to take down this mid inhibitor, and they have the push in top and bot. Every lane pushing in now for Nongshim.
I just think it's so hard from this position. Jiwoo's playing it so defensively. He's about to have that summoner up available as well. He's sitting next to a wall, so if you push forward on him, as Berserker tries to, you can just dash over. The Baron minions doing their work. I feel like once again we have a game where DM Freaks had moments where it's competitive, but this Zeri has just been such a big issue for them.
Yeah, I mean, some of these CCs as well that they're doing to frontline, they're not going for the massive, like, YouTube highlight plays. They're just using CC on anything, and as long as Jiu gets the first couple of kills, they know they win the fight.
It's just, you know what it is? Jiu is like a bully from like a TV show about school where he gets his like minions to be like, hold their arms back, and then he's just punching. That's it every single time. His cronies hold him still, and he just starts laying into them, and it's very effective.
And it can be anyone. There's nobody tanky enough. There's nobody.
Even like the teacher.
Yeah, sure. In this game, at least in this universe. And Nongshim haven't done anything crazy in this game. They just drafted a Zeri comp, and they played pretty well around it. I think after game one, they really trusted you, and they said, okay, let's see how this goes.
Driving in the chaos. Jiu now level 18 as well, had already hit full build.
He's got a Knight's Vow too. Like, there's just not much going to be done to him. Fisher, fed in his own right, is just able to push and tank up by himself. Has a decent amount of damage in his items. Looking for the death cap next. Might as well at this point in the game, 36 minutes. As yeah, they'll get a hook on anything. Fisher playing with fire a bit on the top side, but True Shot Barrage goes wide. He's still very tanky. He's able to get away. They have not dealt with Jiwoo, and all of the inhibitors are now down.
Not a good spot to be in. Stark's picked up by Dudu. This is the time to fight. No second chances.
Yeah. You can see Nongshim, even without the Baron buff, they're just looking to push on in. Charm on a Gideon is not going to get the job done. You need to get a Charm on a Jew, get his cleanse, and then Life has to flash. He has to Q flash and, you know, ult on top of Jew. That's really the only way. As they're going to go in onto Lehens, actually. That is a very nice Magnet Storm, but it does not catch Jiwoo. And that is the main character of this story tonight. As Bulldog, he's going to have to get away. In goes Berserker, trying to take out Fisher. Going to get the Sonyas. As this is getting a wee bit dirty here in this base. Jiwoo, again, they're trying to protect him, but the front line is being chipped away at. Down will go the Skarner. And Kingen about to get the Meganar, but this Ezreal also quite fed. As the house gonna hit, and that is enough damage to take him out.
Oh, Bulldog's about to have ult again. Does he? I don't think he's gonna luck. Jiwoo's still too healthy. But a backs against the wall situation there, and the DM Freaks managed to find an angle. Hard to really threaten when there's these Nexus towers there. Yoshi creates a lot of space here, the engage comes in. I think the critical thing is Fisher took so much damage, and yes, we see Life go down, but a couple of members head back to the fountain to heal up. Berserker's chasing down Fisher. Doesn't manage to get him, mistimes the Q, doesn't finish him off because of the taunt. But Dudu gets some damage and a Jiwoo forces his dash, and then just the health bars are too low for this front line, they have to back away. Many a team have miscalculated how to siege the enemy Nexus towers.
Nongshim wouldn't be the first. They won't be the last. Mountain Drake goes to DNF.
Yeah, so pretty big to deny the soul. Baron is being worked on though, and triple inhibitors down plus Baron is a recipe for a bad time. At that point, you don't even need to do anything. You let the minions do the work.
That is true. I mean, the one Mountain Drake, it's whatever. They're just gonna push down mid. All 5 members, TP's coming in. Kingen just probably gonna TP eventually. Looks like he's doing the blue buff for the team.
Very important.
And once they do group up, you would imagine, unless there's gonna be some kind of miracle hold. I mean, Berserker's trying his best. This has been a game where we've really only talked about, you know, the Zeri composition, and yes, DNF have tools, but they're not really able to utilize them. Yet Berserker's just sitting at 7-1-5. Just had a good game outside of his team losing, obviously. As now looking to go. Oh! Kyoshik with the angle is going to get onto that backline too. He's actually alive though. They're not able to take him down. And now he's just kiting them. And there you go. The entire team able to tank it up, and they had the angle. They found the desperation miracle fight, but still they were not able to kill King Jiwoo. And he will reign at the end of this one. It is a 2-0 for Nongshim. It took quite a while, but all that matters is they get the 2-0 tonight.
That was genuinely such a sick engage to come out from Kyoshik, the flanking Xin Zhao angle, and it nearly worked, but they just didn't quite have the damage to follow through. Too much CC bounce house them in return, and really the strength that Nongshim had acquired previously in this game was enough to get them over the finish line. Jiwoo had a pretty phenomenal series, and honestly, you know, I said it earlier, I'll say it again.
Wow.
Lehens 400 wins, highest of any support, a huge achievement, and especially doing it with this team, which he has guided so well. Nongshim, obviously, some struggling performances the past few years, but really sharpening up for the LCK Cup.
There you go. Nongshim, #1. That's what he says on his 400th win. He's only 2 ahead of Kane, by the way. Kind of funny. Jiwoo having a great game. Whole comp is built for him to carry, and he gets the job done. Got kind of scary there at the end, but
I mean, that's the thing, is I think 2023 Jiwoo is really where he was just super dominant. The team was struggling, but he was just always the shining light. 2024 was a bit more for miss. LCK Cup, I think he had some underperformances, and there was the other teammates who stepped up, but if this is a sign of more to come, very good news for Jiwoo fans, because he's had a great day today.
yeah, it's pretty obvious that his entire team trusts him to get the job done. So nice to see. Could be another piece of the puzzle here for Nongshim. They clearly already have a lot of nice things going for them. They do have a pretty laid-back and passive play style when the comp does call for it, especially this time around. It was just kill by kill for Jiwoo.
Just hold them still. I'll finish them off. And there were times where, I mean, Berserker was 7-1 good in that last fight. Like, it's not like they didn't do anything. There's definitely moments. And I think that's the big takeaway. Nongshim were a harder opponent than I'd say DRX were going into the series that DM Freaks lost. But DM Freaks showed a lot more light in this series, even if they didn't end up winning. I think each game they put some effort in. Yes, there was a lot of flubs, a lot of mistakes, but it was a lot more proactive, at least. And I think that's a positive move, even if there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a long way to go, I would say, especially after seeing their first series, but into this one. Looking better for the DN Freaks. And yeah, I mean, not much else to say about Nongshim on this win. There were some decent moments for DNF trying to barely hold on against the Seri, which was never going to be an easy task. This is the final fight. So look at Pyoshik, he's on the flank here on the right. They're just talking about they're just like, you know, look at Ezreal, look at Aatrox, no flash, etc. Seems like maybe a little bit surprised by the Xinjiao. But 50k damage, greater than 46k damage.
Just marginally. Berserker was trying. He really was in this game, trying to make it happen. Bit of a mixed bag in terms of overall performances for this team, but Nongshim on the other side getting the win. And I think DM Freaks, lessons to take away. This is the second game, though, where the gold graph has kind of been big advantage, dipping down. I think this is a surprise to absolutely no one.
Yeah, this should be a 13 out of 13. Even the fan votes, I think, will get this one. Feels pretty obvious. You know, the AD carry, he's the main carry. The whole comp's built around him. Even when it wasn't in game one, he was doing incredible stuff on the Kai'Sa. He was making the plays. He was flashing into 4 people, forcing fights,
damage.
you know. He did in both games.
How can you not vote for him? Well, I did. I did my part, you know?
You did your part. I think that our deskers will as well, our spacers. And guys, we do have the interview ready to go with you on the stage, so I'll hand it over to Deer for the translation to take us away into that POM interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Deer for the POM interview translation, joined by Jiwoo on the side of Nongshim Red Force. Congratulations! Thank you. Nongshim Red Force, your force is unstoppable. How does it feel to get unanimous POM votes? To be honest, I didn't know that it would be a unanimous one. But in the end, I did think that I played pretty well, so it makes me really happy that I got unanimous votes. So who did you think would get some POM votes? You know, I actually thought that Lihins did really well, so I thought he would be getting some votes. Looks like Jiwoo was able to showcase some good highlights throughout the game. So, in Game 1, we got the longest game of the LCK season with the highest kill count so far. So given that it was the first game of the series, it must have been so draining. You know, my hands were getting really shaky during the first game, so I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do my team fighting as well, but I'm really glad that we're able to carry out and get through. And in Game 1 with the enemy Vi and Rakan comp, how did you manage to remain so proactive with Kai'Sa?
최대한
I had no armor or anything like that.
이제 바이공
So I
빠지면
had to wait for my
들어가야겠다,
team
이 생각으로 좀 했던 것 같아요.
and wait for the right moment after Vi used her ult.
2세트에서는 사실 지우 선수의
And in game 2,
딜이 좀 부족한 조합이었습니다.
if it wasn't for your Zeri comp, you guys lacked damage,
그렇다 보니까 아까도 말씀드렸지만 팀원들이 이제 킬을 몰아주는 장면이
making
자주
Zeri
나왔어요.
scaling very crucial. So we noticed your Hyung's spoon feeding and funneling you kills throughout the game. So does your team and Hyung's rely and trust you a lot?
네.
No, I don't think I've ever gotten this many kills. But with so many kills, it made the game so much more fun. And I think I just really need to be a better model, and I have to be that person that they can rely on. And I think that's what really will make the game even more fun for myself individually. And at the end of game 2, you even sold your shoes, your boots, and with many options like Guardian Angel or Bloodthirster, you went for Bloodthirster. And that really showed how much pressure was on you. So can you explain your decision here? To be honest, I was talking and discussing with Lihans about what I should go for my last item. And because I lack movement speed after selling my boots and going Bloodthirster, I was a little worried, but you know, in the end, I think going lifesteal actually helped a lot, considering how my last teamfight went.
400승, 아주 대기록을 또 만들어내셨습니다.
And did you know Lihans reached 400 wins today? Would you like to take this moment to congratulate him?
400승.
Lihans, I didn't know that you played for that long, but congratulations on 400 wins.
맞습니다. 두 분의 친분이 아주 또 드러나는 재미있는 답변이었는데요. 서포터로서 정말 멋진 기록을 남긴 또 리엔즈 선수 축하드립니다. 다음 상대는 이제 또
What an incredible milestone as a support. Congratulations again. And your next opponent is the Mighty Tigers of the LCK, Gen.G. And after the close 3-game series loss in the LCK Cup, you must be so eager to get your revenge. Yeah, Gen.G, it will be a very difficult opponent, but we will put our best efforts to create a good match for everyone. And that's the end of the interview with Jiwoo, and back to the space. Thank you.